Hello my viewers and welcome back to my channel. Now, in a rare display of courage and honesty, two palm-color men dare to challenge the status quo and speak truth to power. Now they confront the elephant in the room, tackling the sensitive topic of Israel's treatment of Palestinians and the devastating consequences of unchecked power. With unflinching clarity, they dissect the rhetoric and expose the harsh realities of a conflict that has ravaged a nation, culture, and history. Now they ask tough questions and demand answers, refusing to sugarcoat the truth or indulge in apologetics. In these videos, they confront the dark reality of Israel's systematic oppression and genocide against Palestinians, a crime so heinous it's been hidden in plain sight for decades. With unflinching conviction, they expose the lies and hypocrisy that perpetuate this injustice. So with that said, check out their videos. I will be right back.
Let's have a bit of clarity and honesty about the situation. Israel is not trying to destroy Hamas. Israel knows better than anyone else that all of their actions are massively increasing the Palestinian resistance. Israel is not trying to get its hostages back. I think we all know that. If they wanted to, they could do it very easily and quickly with a ceasefire and not risk anyone's lives. What does Israel want? I think we all know what Israel wants. They want exactly what they're doing. They're committing genocide, they are slaughtering Palestinians, and they are destroying the infrastructure in Gaza. Why? To ethnically cleanse Gaza, take over the land, take over the resources. They can't admit to this because it's morally insanely evil and completely indefensible. So they make up these lies about trying to get Hamas and trying to get their hostages, and the lies just become more and more ridiculous every day. I think we all know that. America is supporting Israel. Why? Because the American politicians are bought and paid for by the Israel lobby, and because American politicians love to take American taxpayer money, give it to weapons manufacturers, and then send those weapons over to Israel and the Ukraine. It's their number one hobby. It makes them incredibly rich, whilst causing immense conflict and suffering, death and mayhem for civilians in countries all over the world that are not American. How is this going to pan out? Really badly for the Palestinians in the short term. But in the medium term, I would argue really badly for the Israelis. Why? Because they're making a space for themselves in the region where they're going to have to face a united Arab set of countries that will seek retribution against them for the rest of our lifetimes. A good 100 years, I would say. They're also going to have to face, in all likelihood, China and Russia united at the hip and in collaboration with Iran. That'll be an interesting thing for Israel to face. That's three nuclear powers against Israel. One of the biggest losers is America, the American people, because they are getting crashed by this whole process. All the peripheral countries that had a healthy respect for America no longer do, and they will be joining Russia and China and the BRICS nations, because Russia and China, honestly, will almost definitely be supplying better global leadership and global development than America has. That's sad for America. Why is all this catastrophe happening? Because this ugly little country called Israel believes it's the chosen people and believes wiping out the countries around it is absolutely no problem. They don't even care that everyone sees how evil that is. They believe they are the chosen people and nobody else counts. They don't even have respect for American lives. Look what they did to the USS Liberty. There it is, the truth and the clarity.
Why are they working for Israel? Are we crazy? Are we out of our minds? How are we letting this happen? How are we letting it happen? Our money, our representatives, our military, rather than stopping it, is not only allowing it to happen, but is participating willfully in this horrifically, like I said, sadistic form of genocide. And like Zarifa was saying, the genocide didn't start after October 7. And the whole conversation about genocide is really quite interesting. Genocide is a crime. It's a well-defined crime. It was defined in 1949 to a large degree as a result of genocide of the Jews in Europe by the Nazis. It's a well-defined crime. You can read it. It's not a question of opinion. It's not a question of do we feel about it? Do we feel it? Do we not? But this is how the conversation is. Do you feel like it might be genocide? Is your opinion that it might be genocide? Read the law. It's very clear. It fits. It's genocide. They are murdering civilians for almost 8 decades in a systemic way. Systematic erasure of a nation. Systematic erasure of a culture, a history, and a country. That genocide. There's no opinion here. The law is clear. The evidence is clear. And yet, the money is coming from us, the funds are coming from us, the support is coming from us. And rather than condemning that, we're asked to condemn the Palestinians, the victims of this. Not the Palestinians are victims. I don't like to use that term. Palestinians are heroes, they're not victims. But who is it that that we're supposed to condemn, and why? And there's a lot of similarities to what we're seeing now on campuses. You see the politicians come out, you see the university administrators and presidents come out. Why are they not standing with the students? Why are they not standing with the students? How can they justify to themselves not standing with the students? The students are demanding that their campuses divest from that war machine, that side machine. And who are the administrators and the politicians condemning? The students. Who are the police beating up? The students. Who's being arrested and punished and suspended? The students. Once again, we're out of our minds. And we're allowing this to happen? These administrators have a right to suspend these heroes? These encampments will be remembered as one of the greatest moments in the history of these campuses. Your names will be remembered. They'll be put on.
Israel will never again enjoy peace, ever. They're not going to defeat Hamas. Gaza is a permanent wound. It's not going to be resolved in Israel's favor. Israel is talking about expanding the conflict into southern Lebanon against Hezbollah. Israel cannot win that conflict. I think one of the reasons why Israel hasn't yet launched that invasion is because they were reminded of that fact by Hezbollah, who successfully took out several Iron Dome sites in the vicinity, letting the Israelis know that they can take out all of the Iron Dome sites, and Israel will have no ability to protect itself from tens of thousands of rockets that'll land on Israel, fired from Hezbollah on a daily basis. And if you hit Israel with enough rockets over enough period of time, Israel doesn't exist. And the other thing is that Hezbollah isn't going to fight a fight that allows Israel to put 50,000 troops into southern Lebanon to push Hezbollah back to the Litani River. Hezbollah has gone underground, just like Hamas did in Gaza. And while Israel is digging and fighting Hezbollah there, Hezbollah will appear in the rear of Israel and take Galilee, take the northern. Hezbollah ensure that the next fight between Israel and Hezbollah isn't going to be fought amongst southern Lebanese villages, but amongst the villages and towns of northern Israel. And Hezbollah will win this fight. Israel now knows this. The Houthi have shown that Israel's sea lines of communications are vulnerable and have been successfully interdicted. And Israel has suffered billions of dollars of economic loss as a result. And then the continued attacks from Gaza, from Yemen, from Hezbollah, from Iraq now. The pro-Iranian Shia militias are now firing drones and cruise missiles that are striking Haifa, the city of Haifa. The bottom line is Israel will never know peace as long as it continues this current stance, which means that if this is not rectified, and it won't be rectified, that millions of Israelis are going to start asking themselves the question, can we continue to live in Israel? Is it the quality of life that we were expecting? Is this a healthy enough economy? Do I want to subject my family to the economic pressures and the psychological pressures of living in a besieged Israeli state? And the answer is no. Millions of Israelis have dual citizenship. They hold second passports. And we've already seen hundreds of thousands of them flee Israel. And if this situation deteriorates, you'll see millions more. And as Israel depopulates, it becomes less and less viable as a nation state, especially in terms of what, the singular state. Israel's in big trouble.
Now, these two men's courageous testimonies are a breath of fresh air in the world where speaking truth to power is often met with silence or backlash. Their willingness to confront the harsh realities of Israel's actions against Palestinians is a testament to their moral fiber and commitment to justice. Now, their words pierce through the veil of propaganda and rhetoric, exposing the stark truth of a decades-long genocide. They remind us that silence is complicity and that our collective humanity demands we stand in solidarity with the oppressed. Now, their message is a call to action, a reminder that people must hold their leaders accountable for their actions and demand an end to the perpetuation of violence and injustice. It's time for people to rise up and demand a world where human rights and dignity are upheld for all, regardless of race, religion, and nationality. Now, there are reasonable grounds to believe Israel is committing the crime of genocide against the Palestinians as a group in Gaza. Israel has committed 3 acts of genocide with a requisite intent, unaliving members of the group, causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of the group, and deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part. There have been flagrant and systematic unalivings of Palestinian civilians, as well as the deployment of unlawful weaponry, the utter obliteration of vital civilian infrastructure, including the deliberate targeting of all Gaza's hospitals, and the man-made starvation of the Palestinian people. It's really astonishing that despite overwhelming evidence, now some individuals still feign uncertainty about Israel's genocidal actions against Palestinians. The facts are very clear. Decades of systemic oppression, displacement, and unalivings, yet some persist in pretending that the issue is somehow nuanced or debatable. Now, as the first palm color man in the video so eloquently stated, genocide is a crime. It is a well-defined crime. It's not a question of opinion. The evidence is irrefutable, and the international community's silence is complicity. People must stop pretending that Israel's actions are anything but genocidal. The language of occupation, apartheid, and human rights violations is a veil for the stark reality of genocide. It's time to call it what it is. The world's inaction is a statement to the power of propaganda and political manipulation. But we as individuals have a choice. We can choose to acknowledge the truth, to speak out against this genocide, and to demand action from our leaders. Let us not be complicit in this crime. Let us not be swayed by the rhetoric of power. Let us stand with the oppressed, and let us call for justice, accountability, and an end to this genocidal madness. Now, the second man's words are also a stark warning. Israel's aggression will not bring peace, but perpetuate a cycle of violence. He boldly states that Israel cannot defeat Hamas or Hezbollah, and that their actions will only lead to more bloodshed. Now, he highlights the fertility of Israel's military might, citing Hezbollah's successful resistance against Israeli aggression. Now, his message is clear. Military power alone cannot resolve this conflict. Moreover, he emphasizes that Gaza is a permanent wound, a constant reminder of the suffering and injustice inflicted upon Palestinians. His words echo the desperation and frustration of a people subjected to decades of oppression. He's warning that Israel will never enjoy peace until they address the root causes of this conflict. Is a stark reminder that true security can only be achieved through justice and equality, not military dominance. Now, the scales have fallen from the eyes of many, and the truth can no longer be denied. Israel's actions against Palestinians are nothing short of genocide. The world has witnessed the atrocities, and the majority has condemned them. Yet the United States remains obstinate in its support for Israel, refusing to acknowledge the stark reality. It's a baffling stance, one that raises questions about the motivations behind America's unwavering support. Is it ideological, strategic, or something more sinister? Whatever the reason, it's clear that the US is out of step with the international community on this issue. Now, as the world awakens to the truth, it's imperative that we continue to shine a light on Israel's crimes and hold them accountable. The US must also be held accountable for its complicity in these atrocities. It's time for a reckoning, and it's time for justice to be served. The people of Palestine have suffered for far too long. Their plight must be acknowledged, and their rights must be respected. I don't know what you guys think about these videos, but share your thoughts as well, contributions in the comment section. Thank you for always watching, and see you in my next video as I bring you another interesting video.